Going to call the Policies and Priorities Committee meeting to order for Tuesday, December 9th. Take approval of the agenda, please. Councillor Noxana.
That the December 9th, 2025 Policies and Priorities Committee meeting agenda be approved as presented.
Seconder. Councillor Norbury. All in favor? Carried. Adoption of minutes for November 10th, 2025 Policies and Priorities Committee meeting minutes. Recommendation. Councillor Norbury, please.
Thank you, Mayor. That the November 10th, 2025 Policies and Priorities Committee meeting minutes be approved as presented.
Seconder. Councillor Noxana. Any errors or omissions from council? Staff?
No.
Thank you. Call the question. All in favor? Carried. Any business arising? Council? Staff?
No.
Thank you. Moving on to delegations, Tumble Ridge Outdoor Recreational Association, Sherry Lynn Hewitt and Jane Majinski to present the 2025 Tour Annual Report to Council. Come on up to the delegation table. Welcome. 15 minutes and the floor is yours.
Perfect. Beautiful. Do we need to turn this on? No? Hello? Oh.
Okay, perfect. So the presentation that we've prepared for you folks tonight is a summary of our annual report that we delivered at the AGM last week. So 2025 was a year where Trora really started to come into its own. We're still a young association, still learning and building, but the momentum this year was incredible. A lot of our focus this year was on building the foundation of Trora, and putting the systems in place was an important part in our role. Developing our membership structure was a major piece of that work. It took time to build and we're still refining it, but it now gives us a clearer framework for supporting our founding clubs and engaging the community. Launching the website was another big step forward. For the first time, people have one place to go for club information, memberships, youth involvement, events, and updates on outdoor recreation in Tumbler Ridge. Setting up our office space also made a real difference. Having a central place for supplies, meetings, and event materials helped us stay organized during the busiest parts of the year. Our summer student added much needed capacity. That extra support for events, youth coordination, and day-to-day administration kept things moving when several projects were underway at once. These early building blocks are helping position Trora for the work ahead. Our founding clubs are the heart of outdoor recreation in Tumbler Ridge, and supporting the work remained a central part of Trora this year. A key piece of that support was keeping communication clear, making sure that all the clubs received the same information, helping relay updates between the district and partners, and ensuring every club had a voice in the conversations that affected them. We also provided administrative support when it was needed, from documentation and coordination. And on the event side, we assisted with logistics and communications so clubs could focus on delivering their activities without carrying all the organizational load on their own. And we continue to promote the clubs and their volunteers so community could better see the work being done and where they could get involved. The youth were one of the brightest parts of 2025 for Trora. They didn't just volunteer, they stepped into leadership and they've learned new skills. Watching them gain confidence and take ownership at events was something that the whole community noticed. They're already creating new ideas and new initiatives for 2026, and that says a lot about their commitment to this community. We're proud of them, and we're proud of how naturally they've become a part of Trora's story. Trora hosted Winterfest and the golf tournament this year, giving families and visitors a chance to take part in outdoor activities and come together around outdoor recreation. We coordinated the Emperor's Village and the race for this year's 2025 Emperor's Challenge and supported the Ridge Riders during their event weekends where it was needed. Each event offered something different, from youth activities to outdoor demonstrations to community gatherings. These events also played an important role in connecting people with the work happening across our clubs and showing what outdoor recreation brings to Tumbler Ridge. We're proud to have been able to partner with the District of Tumbler Ridge on the Trails Master Plan and Destination Management Strategy. This is a major step forward for Tumbler Ridge, and it's bringing many voices into the room: clubs, youth, residents, government, industry, and businesses. Our role has been full collaboration with Jesse and the Economic Development team. We've supported wherever we could, sharing information, coordinating connections, and providing background from the community and clubs. This is long-term work, and we're grateful to be a part of it at this early stage. Our partnership strengthened this year from provincial organizations to local businesses. We saw consistent support and collaboration. We are especially proud of the trust building that happened. People reached out to us more this year, shared more, and worked with us more closely. Support from tourism partners, Outdoor Rec Council of BC, the BC Snowmobile Federation, ATV BC, and Rec Sites and Trails, and industry helped elevate the work that Trora and our clubs do. And launching our corporate membership model brought new opportunities to work with businesses that care about this community and want to invest in it. And we're excited to share that the Tumbler Ridge Community Forest and Conuma Resources have already committed as Trailblazer members for 2026. This year focused also on strengthening Trora's financial practices, clear reporting, careful planning, and building the structure we need for long-term sustainability. Event revenue from the golf tournament and Winterfest supported our programming and helped us stay active in the community. We've received a generous contribution from the Tumbler Ridge Legion, and our summer student position was made possible through the Canada Summer Jobs Program. Funding from the Outdoor Rec Council of BC and the District of Tumbler Ridge supported our safety training, building skills and confidence with our volunteers and our youth division. And with the launch of our corporate membership model, we're beginning to build a more stable financial path into 2026 and beyond.
All right. First of all, thanks for having us. I wanted to just give kind of a big thank you to Sherry Lynn and the board for all of their hard work developing Trora over the last 18 months while I've been off. And today marks the last day of our overlap together. So Sherry Lynn will get some well-deserved time off now as I step back into the executive director position. So thank you, and thank you guys for having us. So I'm going to touch just a little bit on kind of 2026 and our plans kind of moving forward. So I have quite a bit more that's on the slide here, so I'm just going to run through a few kind of exciting things we have planned. So as Sherry Lynn mentioned, we had a summer student last summer. This year we have an application in to have 3 summer students. So one would be kind of an assistant type position. 2 would be, what are we calling them?
Recreation leaders.
Recreation leaders. So those 3 positions, if we're awarded them, we'll kind of work with our clubs to develop how their time is spent. So that's very exciting. Hopefully those are approved. We are also considering an application to South Peace Mackenzie Trust for a more permanent assistant position. I know that fund is kind of coming towards the end of its life, so we want to just make sure we're utilizing that if we are able to. We're going to continue our involvement in events and a little bit more collaboration. This year we're going to be actually a partner in the district's winter carnival. Instead of doing our own winter event, we're going to be partnering up and trying to just kind of make your guys' events go a little bit further with our support. We will do our fundraisers, our golf tournament, hopefully some more training opportunities for volunteers. As Sherry Lynn mentioned, we're going to continue rolling out our corporate membership, which is really exciting to already have. So we have our 2 confirmed. One is for a 2-year commitment and the other is for a 5-year commitment. So those are really exciting. We've also just heard that we are eligible for some fully funded strategic planning through Northern BC Tourism, which is really exciting. So once we get our final kind of finished version of the destination management framework, we're going to take a look at that and then hopefully sit down and do some strategic planning. Just our original strategic planning was done kind of at the very beginning of, when Trora was established. So as you guys know, needs to be developed and tweaked as things kind of move on. So we're going to continue with our youth program, supporting our clubs with administrative tasks, training, different courses, volunteer efforts, providing our new space for them to utilize, helping with their events, grants, fundraising, and pretty much whatever else they need help with. So next, we have our grant and aid requests upcoming for your guys' consideration. So Sherry Lynn already presented in the summer on that, grant and aid, right?
That was in October.
In October,
Sorry, yes.
yeah. So the items in that application are for our non-salary operational costs. So that I believe is coming up in your guys' budget considerations. And then I kind of wanted to touch a little bit, we've had a couple, lots of meetings, but we've had some glimpses at our Trails Master Plan Destination Management Framework kind of as it's been rolled out, which is really exciting. There's a lot of Trora-led initiatives marked in there, not that, we're held to any of that at this point, but we can see what's coming. So kind of looking into 2026 and beyond, just trying to reduce the amount of time that we're spending on securing operational funding, I think is going to be key. So at this point, a huge part of the job has been trying to sustain the organization on a fairly basic level. So just trying to look forward and develop something that's a little more stable looking forward long term. So a lot of our time can be reallocated to actual exciting deliverables and kind of all the bigger things we want to be focusing on. I went off my notes here. So that being said, Trora values our strong relationship with the district. We remain committed to advancing outdoor rec, supporting our volunteers, and moving the tourism priorities forward that will be identified in our destination management strategy. We're thankful to work so closely with district staff, Jesse, mayor and council, and we want to express our appreciation of our partnership. It's a really important piece. I know at the last presentation there was a lot of support and comments from council, so I just wanted to kind of put it out there. If there's any potential to discuss further support towards operational costs, we would love an opportunity to have further discussions with you guys or do more presentations, formal requests, anything like that. I know you guys have a lot of people knocking on your door for money all the time, so we didn't want to make this about money. It's more about an update about what we're doing. We're looking really good for 2026 at this point, especially with our corporate memberships. But yeah, just that kind of piece about longer term stability, especially with some big exciting plans coming out of that destination management. So yeah, so that being said, thanks for having us. We're really excited to be here, and I'm excited to be back, and yeah. That's about it. Anything you have?
No, I think
Yeah.
you've covered everything.
Perfect.
All right, well, first off, thank you very much for both of you coming in. I want to take time to thank Sherry Lynn, Hewitt, for all she's done. One, keep me very updated, meeting with me on a regular basis to do that. So I want to thank you personally for that work. I think it was a huge success for you, what you stepped into, obviously taking over for maternity leave and stuff. So I want to thank you for that, because I think it was really important, the connection that we built there. And I think it helped me, we have a liaison that sits on the board and definitely keeps council up aware of it. But having that interconnect, sometimes when you're looking for things, there's certain things that I can possibly help with. I think it's important. At the same time, I want to welcome you back. So Jane, welcome back to the organization. I know you were just on a leave, so it wasn't like you're gone, but yeah, so look forward to working forward with you in the 2026 and stuff. So I'm going to go to council, but I think you said a lot of things and such, but definitely want to thank Sherry Lynn for what she's done, and then welcome Jane back to probably, I would think, quite a bit of workload. Like I said, I've been kept up to date pretty good and stuff. I just want to mention one thing before I go to Council Norbury, and that's your tour of youth. I don't think we can, or I, can talk so too much about that, how many hours, and I think they were really light when they actually presented to council on the hours they actually had given, and it was realized after the fact, but, you know, hats off, like, my gosh, like, hats off, like, to see these young adults willing to give up the time they're giving up, and it's for the whole community. It's not even just for Tora. They're jumping on, yes, through Tora Youth, but jumping in, helping in other ways. So great on the organization. That's definitely a driver, and I think it's a lead from executive directors, but also the board. I think it takes that lead too when it comes to having board members that are willing to spend that time and work through them, whether that's the president and such. But I think it's so important to see the youth involved and to see a board like that really push the youth part. I think that's huge. That's who's going to take this board over in 10 years or 15 years. So good on your organization. Councilor Norbury.
Thank you, Mayor. To continue on the mayor's thoughts about the youth division, I think it's also very positive. It's one of the things that really gains a lot of attention outside the community in how successful your organization has been when engaging the youth, where many communities have failed in that. Even, Tumbler Ridge, sometimes it's hard to get the youth out and involved. And this group of volunteers is doing an amazing job in the succession planning and training up their fellow students and taking their place in the coming years. It's pretty outstanding. You mentioned operational funding. I can appreciate that, and that if we want you guys, if your organization to be what you're doing, and that's coordinating clubs, coordinating group events, working together. I would love for you guys to be able to get to that capacity where that's all you have to worry about. You don't have to worry about funding. But the challenge is without an ask, we don't know. We can't say yes or no. Realistically, right? I can't speak for the rest of the council, but I'd love to hear what your needs are, and then we could discuss that. Because I fully support your organization and what you're doing. I don't have a lot of high expectations because really the sky's the limit, and your organization is showing that, and what it's been doing is well beyond anything I would expect. So keep up the good work. I look forward to seeing what you have in store for us next year, and good luck, Jane.
Thank you. Councilor Bertrand.
Thank you, Mayor. To echo the Mayor's comments, welcome back, Jane. It's great to see you back. And thank you very much for all of your efforts, Sherry Lynn. It's been fantastic. I'm just curious. I was just checking out the website here. It looks excellent. Lots of great visuals there. I have a quick question. So the structure of Trora is kind of an overlapping umbrella of the four organizations, correct? So I'm wondering about, or my question is, what is the financial relationship between Trora and the clubs? So the money that's being raised through Trora, that stays with Trora, or does it get distributed through the clubs? And then my other question is, do the clubs do their own fundraising on their own?
And yes, I can speak to that. Oh,
You go ahead.
so the money that Trora has been fundraising is to stay with Trora right now. Of course, covering our executive director, our operational cost. The clubs will also be doing their own fundraising and events for their initiatives and projects that they have coming forward.
Okay.
Does that,
Follow up, you're good?
did you have anything else to add there?
Yeah, well, I was just gonna mention, so the very first golf tournament, that was run, the profits were split evenly, which I think was nice for the clubs, but it kind of came back to that, constant struggle of making enough money to pay for an executive director, basically. So, it was kind of decided and agreed upon between the board, and the clubs to keep that within Trora, try to get us really stable, and then, a lot of the money that comes through from grants and different things like that does funnel through in training and other opportunities. But financially at this point, what's fundraised and made for Trora is going to pay for Trora operations. Yeah.
Thank you.
Councilor Julik.
As Councillor Bertrand was looking on the webpage, I glanced over and I see stewardship at the core, and I think that any organization that can continue to champion our region and share the importance of stewardship like, please use our outdoors and please be responsible with it. And I think anytime we have more voices out there sharing that, the better off we are. And as you guys talk about the different funding, you know, like those other organizations may not have an executive director, except they're going to come back and lean on you, which is where that sharing piece comes. So I appreciate that as well. I think it's a really great organization. And I remember the first time Therese and Jesse, I was there and they showed me the model and stuff. I was super excited about it, and you guys have not disappointed as an organization moving forward, the youth, and so grateful that, you know, Sherry Lynn, you had your boot in the door there already, you know, working at the school and knowing them kids and having that trust and being able to carry that into that connection into that role. And so thanks for being smart and using that. And I know, Jane, with the bike, I know you'll find your own connection there as well with the youth there. And so I hope that you're successful in the 3 summer jobs. You know, I know that keeping our kids in town in the summer is a really important thing when they're taking break from school and stuff. So I'm really excited to hear those parts of your report as well. So congratulations, and thanks for all of the hard work you guys do for our community, and all the best moving forward.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Anything else from council? You get to ask questions every time, right? A couple. Sorry to put you on the spot, but not going to get away that easy. One, I'll just make a comment. Summer students, if you need any help, let me know. Sometimes letter to Mr. Zimmer helps out, especially if you're looking to increase to 3, which I think is great with your suggestions and what your ideas are with those positions. I think, again, hats off to you. I think, one, it involves our youth as well. If there's opportunities for them to succeed in there, and when it comes to summer student positions. When we talk about the grant aid, which we did talk about already, and it was mentioned, I wouldn't say council, definitely the mayor had talked about finances and such. So I don't know, you know, I appreciate Councilor Norbury's comments. So I think I spoke quite heavily about, if you're like, let's not wait till the last second and then say we're struggling, and we're sink or swim now. So I don't want that. Come early, please. Now, I'll be honest with you, when I look at operational funding and have a discussion, until we have the information that Councilor Norbury has talked about, we also need the information from staff, and I'll mention that in regards to the trail master plan. We haven't seen it. Destination management strategy, haven't fully seen it. So you may have a pulse on some of that because you're seeing it, you know, ahead of the schedule as you work with staff through that. We haven't, so we haven't seen your name tagged to a lot of stuff. So that ask would have to come with some of that information. So I just want to make sure that's clear about that, because again, I think it's what your organization is doing is very, very important. But to have a proper debate or get proper support from majority of council, we're going to need that.
Absolutely.
Like again, I think the organization that was started by volunteers, so the board, you know, the district definitely had a pulse on it at the beginning. I wouldn't say it was disoriented at all. I think the district just had a vision with other people within the community that's seen something. And to me, to see where that's gone, I don't think that, I mean, myself as a mayor, I don't think we can afford to lose that. And I would sell that to the next elected officials as well. We can't afford to lose this. I think it's so important when we talk about the 4 pillars that you're associated, and I mean, I'll say 5 because of the geopark is added as well. We can't lose that. I think you guys, as you work, and you know, right now, I mean, I know Sherry Lynn has worked really hard in the last 18 months, and apologize, Jane, you know, good on you that you had another little one and you were off, but when you see where your organization has gone and the recognition you're getting from outside of the community, so when you're hearing about it from other communities, want to know how this was done, how do they start it up, can they do something similar but not exactly the same? I think it's so important. Obviously, you were initiated firstly because you took over early, and then obviously you've been off for 18 months. But I think that's what the value is, that we can be leading this from Northeast BC, right? So BC does exist past Hope. I know we don't, I know South doesn't think it does. I think it's important to say it, and I say it any opportunity I get, that we do exist past Hope BC. But we hear it on Vancouver Island, people talking about Torah. So I think that's how important that is, and I just want to make sure council's aware of that, because I was the one that brought that up when the last presentation in October, that please don't wait as an organization for funding if you know you're going to be short. I'd rather have it early, and I think it's easier on staff too, that we're not, us as elected officials aren't trying to rebudget in February and March. It makes it very, very tough, and it'll make it tougher for you.
Yeah.
So if you can just come early, if you're thinking about it now, honestly, our deadlines have closed.
Yeah, absolutely.
we haven't had a budget meeting yet. So I'm not saying you can reapply, I'm not saying that, but I would work and can't give cleaner direction in front of a delegation, but reach out to our CEO.
Thank you.
I think it's an organization that I believe council, or majority of council would definitely want to look at. We don't want to lose it. So I just wouldn't wait too long as we start the budget process, because it could be tougher to get in.
Yeah, absolutely. And my comments today were more kind of like, we're looking fairly secure for, you know, the first, well, almost all the way through 2026, and trying to just kind of have these conversations ongoing before we're at the 11th hour, like how are we gonna pay the bills next month? Yeah, so kind of more just keeping that conversation open with you guys and being really transparent about kind of where we are at as an organization, where kind of our capacity is, where our time is being spent. So yeah, if there is opportunity to potentially sneak in a late application, amazing. If not, we'll, you know, prepare something for you guys' next intake. But yeah, just kind of want to be open with that and see where you guys were at. And yeah, just like you said, we don't want to lose momentum and end up in a tight spot, so.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that, you know, you guys are looking good for 2026, but we don't have a second intake, right?
Yeah.
You'll be budgeting for 2027.
Yeah.
Just want to be clear.
Yeah.
But again, I'd rather see this council have a debate and discuss if we want to add something to our budget with documentations from Tora.
Right.
If you don't spend it, it's okay, because it can be carried over to the following year. Instead of trying to come in late and we haven't budgeted for it, we're trying to do unbudgeted funds. That's all I'm saying. I think the community would support an organization, or does support the organization like this, and I just think that's so important. Just a couple comments. I don't know if it's really questions, but you could probably answer some. I think it's good to see that you've taken a different angle, direction when it came to fundraising, whether that's with the golf tournament or whatever else you're doing. Now, we're not splitting that funds with the 4 pillars or the 5 pillars, that we're actually keeping it internally. And whether that's to offset the the executive director position, or it's used for, like, and you mentioned, safety courses or other courses within the organization to bring in your outsider or your other clubs. Perfect. Anything else from council? Okay, again, please feel free to use your liaison, which is Councillor Noxana. She can bring forward stuff too, and she can help you through that other part that we were just discussing, I think. All right?
Well, thank you for you guys' time, and yeah, excited to be back. I'm sure you'll see lots more of me.
Perfect. Sounds great. Sherry Lynn,
Care, folks.
thank you.
It's been a pleasure, and you'll see me out and around.
Thank you. Wish you the best. If you need anything, reach out.
Thank you, folks.
Okay, moving on to business license bylaw review, public engagement results, report dated December 9th, 2025, from the Director of Corporate Services regarding business license bylaw review, public engagement results. Recommendation, please, Councillor Noxana.
That the proposed business license bylaw be brought forward to a regular council meeting for consideration of readings as presented.
Seconder, Councillor Bertrand, discussion. Councillor Bertrand?
Thank you. Just reading through the report, I'm a little concerned about the lack of engagement. I'm hoping no news is good news, but I'm just wondering, like, it does seem that we've definitely put the effort in. I think that's a charge of something.
It is
isn't
$5 per person that's in the room.
Yeah, so I'm just, that's my only concern, is the lack of engagement. And is there any plans for a follow-up before our next council, or before this comes back to a regular meeting?
Just before I go to Ms. Scott, I guess if we're not happy with the results, I know I've seen the engagement out there on a quite regular basis, whether that was via emails, I mean, obviously on a business, so I've seen it definitely from that side. To me, if we don't think that we did a proper job in trying to engage the community for business license, then we would have to give that direction. I would think, and Ms. Scott will be able to correct me if I'm wrong, but, you know, the motion on the floor is to direct this right back to another meeting to start reading. Thank you. Readings for the bylaw, thanks. So if we wanted to go back out, we would have to give that direction. But Ms. Scott, just in regards to, you know, I guess the feedback that we received or haven't received back, any comments from staff?
We were not planning to do another engagement. As shown in the report, we think we did a pretty good job. We tried really hard. We sent emails directly to the businesses that had business licenses with us twice. We did reach out to the Chamber of Commerce. We did a lot of advertising both in the newspaper, on social media. We put in a significant effort to try and get the responses, and they just weren't there. So I don't, I think if we were to try again, I still think we would not get the response we were hoping for.
Follow-up?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and that's kind of what I was thinking as well. You know, if a business or a category of businesses aren't happy with the changes, I'm sure we would have heard about it very quickly. That's usually how things work there. So, yeah, I'm satisfied with that. We certainly have a good record of, you know, direct emails, and there was re-engagement as well for looking for more information. So, you know, those businesses had the opportunity after they got the more information to write a response as well if they agreed or disagreed. But I'm sure if they disagreed on something, they would have certainly took the time to engage. So, yeah, I'm satisfied with it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Noxana.
Thank you. I also think like it's a concerningly low number of responses. However, there has been 11 different, not including the council motion on November 10th, 11 different public engagements or emails or something. So I'm not sure, like I'm not seeing any missed category that I would think might capture another person. So I'm happy to move forward to a council meeting with this business license bylaw, and I would agree with what Councillor Bertrand said, that if there was a category of business owner that was glaringly upset with this, I think that we would have heard something. I would hope that we've heard something, because I've gotten these emails. I know nonprofits have gotten these emails. There's been letter campaigns. Like, it's very obviously been out there.
Thank you. Councillor Julik, sorry.
Yeah, I think staff did a really good job putting it out there. I think the reason that you did not get anything back is because it was well thought out, it was well put forward. There's really no increase. $150 is the most you're going to pay, which is the most anybody's paying now. And I know myself as a business, I didn't reach out to say, hey, good job, I like it. I just was like, if I disagreed with something, I would have sent something back, but I was happy with it, so I didn't. So I think that, just to give you my perspective as a business owner. So, yeah, I think that when pricing doesn't change, that's usually a sign, and that that people are satisfied with the work that was done here, and it was extensive, you can tell when you read the bylaw. So thanks for all the hard work.
Thank you. Councillor Bertrand.
Thank you. I just have one other question. It didn't quite specifically state in the report. Just wondering if the Chamber of Commerce gave a response.
Ms. Scott.
No, they did not.
So this is quite concerning. And I think, to be honest, how can I put this? We truly do not have an operating Chamber of Commerce. We have an organization of some sort that really is not representing the businesses of our community. That is the purpose of a Chamber of Commerce, is to represent the businesses of our community. That is not happening. So in my eyes, we do not have a Chamber of Commerce operating at this time. Supposedly we do, but if we can't even get an email on a business bylaw review, there's a problem. So I will not be supporting any funding for our supposed TR Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you. Any comments or other questions from council? I'm just going to make a couple. I mean, great job by staff. I mean, I think that's why we see, and Councillor Julik mentioned it, I think that's why maybe we don't see an uptick. You know, I do think, though, in general, that if there was going to be a response, it would come from the chamber. you know, they're representing a fairly, you know, I think there was 45, I can't remember the last number that they had said in the delegation, they were here 42 or 38, whatever the number was, that they would make comments from that side if they'd seen anything within the realm of this. So I did expect to see something back from our chamber, or the BC chamber, maybe not our local chamber, but our BC chamber. And, you know, my personal opinion is that the district probably reached out to our local chamber who, you know, if there was concerns, would have forwarded that on to the BC chamber, and there may have been a comment back there, but whether they forwarded it on or not, I'm not sure. But again, I think staff did such a great job, but I was hoping that we would see that, you know, the chamber thought we had nailed it the right way, or here was a couple highlights or that from their side. But, you know, I guess from their side, maybe they didn't see any issues with the realm of the bylaw as well. Well written by staff really triggered it, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they've had a meeting where our liaisons attended and got any information for us, but I just think it's been supported that way, so support the motion. Councilor Norbury?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I think I'd echo what some of my fellow councillors have said. I mean, if people were upset with it, they'd speak out. I think it's an opportunity to give this a try. Like all new changes, we'll have to, you know, see how that change interacts with the business community. But what we're proposing, I think, is all very reasonable. Small updates, which is responsible, and we'll wait and see if there's any issues. But I highly doubt it. You know, I think it adds clarity. I think clarity is always a welcome addition to any change in bylaws and operations. So, yeah, I think the lack of responses is an indication that it's good. So we'll see. Thanks.
Okay, going to call a question. All in favor? Carried. Fees and charges amendment bylaw update. Report dated December 9th, 2025 from the Director of Corporate Services regarding fees and charges amendment bylaw update. Recommendation, please. Put Councilor Noxena.
That the proposed fees and charges amendment bylaw be brought forward to a regular council meeting for consideration of readings.
Seconder, Councilor Bertrand. Discussion. Councilor Julik.
So it says update, so maybe this is different than, I thought when I was reading it, we were keeping something out though. Yes? Is that still what this recommendation says? Okay, as long as that's still the recommendation, like leaving out B and C, I'm good to go. I appreciate the ability to have that happen so that staff can keep getting their work done, and so we're not holding anything up, and we're still going to get a thorough report on the pieces that council was concerned about. So thanks for that.
Any other discussion by council? Ms. Scott, anything from staff that you'd like to add?
I would just like to point out that there is some misinformation in the rationale document that says that there are no proposed increases to water and sewer. We are proposing a 3% increase to water and a 6% increase to sewer.
Thank you. So it was just a misprint on the pager. Okay, appreciate that. Councilor Bertrand.
Yeah, so that was on page 85 of 89, and that is just, so that's just another kind of a schedule of changes, correct? That's not the actual bylaw. Is that correct?
Correct.
Scott?
The increases are shown on the attached bylaw
Right.
as proposed, yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any other discussion? Call the question. All in favor? Carried. Letter in opposition to Bill M216, Professional Reliance Act. Draft letter in opposition to Bill M216, Professional Reliance Act for council's review. Recommendation. Councilor Noxena.
The council approves the letter in opposition to Bill M216 as presented.
Seconder, Councilor Bertrand. Just before I go to discussion, just want to make sure council is well aware, since our last meeting that we gave direction to staff to draft up a letter and put it in front of council. My understanding, staff's received 10 to 15 more support, people looking for support in regards to opposing this one. So just so everybody knows that there's lots of people opposing this act, not just us. And then just so everybody's aware, UBCM has also sent in a thing to not enact this act as well. But I think it's important to come from the municipalities as well that, you know, obviously UBCM are members, but I think it's important that we're sending it to, so in case they don't listen to the UBCM. Councillor Noxena, then Councillor Bertrand.
Thank you. I'm happy to see how fast this letter came back to us to approve to send out an opposition of Bill M216. I know that there has been a flood of letters from other communities, other organizations. I believe even MIABC, if I'm remembering correctly, has a letter in opposition to this bill. So I'm happy to support us sending this out.
Thank you. Councillor Bertrand.
Yeah, thank you for that information, Mayor. It's, while I was reading it, a question came to me whether or not we should be, sending it to other communities for support and them sending letters as well. So it's nice to hear that it seems to be a majority of communities and organizations opposed to this. And I just want to thank staff for an excellent letter. Well done.
Thank you. Okay, any other discussion by council? Call the question, all in favor? Carried. Take adjournment, please. Council Norbury?
That the December 9th Policies and Priorities Committee be adjourned.
Seconder, Councillor Bertrand, all in favor? Carried. Take a 5.